Hey, good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding areas. My friend John Hopwood will be on in a little while. I got my friend Dave, who's a reader, crystal ball, you name it.
Tarot, psychic,
Yeah.
medium. That's it.
Do you ever do body language? When you're doing a reading, have you
Um,
ever done body language?
well, I do that you know what I mean, just all the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I love doing even with or without the cards. I think it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my favorite thing is doing phone calls.
Phone call. Yeah, they're all
And
right. Yeah.
I like doing the I do it on Facebook Messenger now.
What
And,
readings?
yeah.
Oh wow.
And I gotta practice more on Zoom because I don't have enough confidence on that. But I think
Yeah.
that it's incredible what you and I can do, and I
It
don't
is.
take it for granted anymore.
Me either. I never did.
Oh, I did. Believe me.
Uh-huh.
I lived on the dark side, then I live on the, now on the side. I had to lose everything, especially my spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got sober and I was able to get it back. But then I had a TV show, of course,
So now
triple
you
wheel. Yeah.
Right.
Then I had to bring it down. Have you ever been on an ego trip with the readings?
Not well. I wouldn't say during a reading, but
I mean,
after,
Yeah.
depending. Sometimes the feedback's just incredible. You can't help it. It's just, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You end up there automatic. Because
I had a friend of mine who done. She said, "No." I go, "What?" She said, her name was Jane. I can't remember the last name. I told
Yeah.
her. She said, "You have a gold sword in your back. You gotta pull it out now." In other words, I was on the verge of doing it, and sometimes we need to have that lesson
yeah,
in order to be humble.
yeah.
I like being humble. And what is
Well-
your website?
What is what? What?
Your website?
Oh, my website is gone.
Oh,
Because I'm changing the name of it. It was Lowell Medium Shop, and I'm changing it to the Readings Guy.
that way.
To the no, to the Readings Guy, and it's got I do have a phone number already. New phone number 603-404-9338.
Okay. And but they can reach you. So you're building a new website?
Right, I'm building a new website. Yep, like I said, call the Readings Guy. Psychic intuitive readings, tarot, crystal ball, mediumship, what have you. The same email address, biffit@yahoo.com.
Do you like doing the crystal ball?
That's unbelievable.
Isn't that
That is
incredible? I gotta get a new
unbelievable.
one.
I'm telling you, it's like people say, "Why do you say this or why do you say that?" It's like it's just stuff jumps at you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking
Yeah,
at the thing and ba-boom.
Well, how do you know that? I think
Yeah.
one of the favorite things that I hear is, how do you know that?
Right.
Well, the spirit gives to me because I work with their spirit and we work
Exactly.
together.
Yeah.
Or does my boyfriend love me?
Ah.
And that's okay. They don't always want to hear.
They don't.
No, and that's okay. But that's what they.
But I know a lot of them are. I got one yesterday. It was I wouldn't mind. They're married for 24 years, and this is her concern. This is her concern. He's still talking to a female friend that he knew before they got married.
Yeah.
And it's like, so is he cheating? It's, and I wasn't getting anything at all. I says, I'm not feeling that he is at all. I says, I think you're sort of reading into it. You're making a big deal out of nothing.
Usually it's them that are doing the cheating
Well-
when they want to have their guilt conscience.
Right. Like I said, it's just a communication gap here. And what's the first? Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And the one thing I will never tell anybody that I'm 100% accurate.
I tell that to everybody, because when I first would do, like we'll say, even tarot, right?
Yeah.
So over 20 years ago, you're saying something, and people will come back like 3 months later. Well, I'm still waiting for such and such, or I'm still waiting for this, and it's like,
Well, I
you
tell
know.
them also it doesn't happen overnight.
right, yeah,
You know, if I tell you you're going to get a new car, it doesn't mean you're going to run right out tomorrow and get a
Yeah.
new car. It's going to be probably usually within a year, or whatever, because spirit has no time.
that's right.
I'm usually pretty good about when people are going to cross over. Not one of my favorite fortes, but I do it because that's what they need. The first time I went to my very first house party, and this man and woman love them to pieces. They're nice,
Yeah.
very good friends. And this lady come in. She had the most beautiful white hair.
Mm-hmm.
She walks in. I guess she knew she had cancer. Okay, sit her butt down. I always picture it: green shirt, green pants. I can picture it today. And she said, "How long have I got to live?" And I'm there.
Are you on yet?
Yeah.
You can only stay for an hour.
And that's okay. How long have I got to live? And I went, oh no, because I had never had that question asked to me before. And I went up, I got her daughter, and I said, you're not going to make it past Christmas. Christmas Eve, she crossed over to the other side.
Wow.
Those are things. Oh, we had my very good
who's
friend,
here.
John Hopwood.
I'm going to shake hands for the sinister side
Okay.
because my hand is.
Yeah.
I've left the door open.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
We like the
We got
fresh
nothing
air.
to hide. Have you got anything to hide? Do you have a closet in case that we don't know about yet?
No, no, no.
So if you're ready for politics and I was your manager, would I know any scuttlebuddle about you?
No.
No, that would be boring.
Yeah. Well,
I
I'm
owe
a
Bill a
boring
dinner,
person. Bill Barry?
Yeah. I had a bet who was going to win,
Well, yeah.
so I got to pay up on it. But he's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. Bill's
I
a
really-
great guy.
If you met Bill, you would like him.
Yeah, I don't know
And
Bill. So
Bill does a lot to try to help the homeless, too.
Oh, he really does.
So the problem, we won't go into it, with
No.
the
Yeah.
the person that you put your money on was
She hurt herself.
She hurt herself. She hurt herself badly.
Yeah. Well, you can't keep bringing up, and I actually, Facebook's are on it, slamming, the mayor and chaos mayor. Tell us what you're going to do
Right.
with how we can solve the problem. Don't bring up, and this is what I really truly believe, that she hurt herself. I kept bringing the chaos and the mayor and all that, Yeah, we know it's there. But tell us a solution so that we can understand it better.
Yeah, it was. She really cut her own throat.
Yeah. Gerard didn't help any.
Well, Gerard did what he stated what he believed, that she was had no background at all in municipal government, where Gerard does and knows a lot about it. He does lay out stuff. No matter what I think of him, I respect him for that.
Oh, I'll always respect what he does.
his
But I don't like the
experience.
idea of being a poor loser. That's what I don't like.
Yes, but he claimed that she lied about things, and there are a couple of things out there where her truth, what they call it, truthiness, came into question.
Yeah.
I mean, we expect that from politicians.
Hey, I
but
didn't get
not
my
like that.
pumpkin this year.
My sister didn't do any this year.
His sister used to make me the most beautiful pumpkin.
Do you
Oh,
still
really?
have yours?
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
She didn't
I
do
should
any
bring
this
it in
year.
sometime. But she made me the most beautiful pumpkin with a beautiful face. And every
really?
This is, the second year now I have it. You tell her I missed my pumpkin.
I will. I will.
Yeah. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Going up to Vermont. I have friends up there.
Tomorrow's a very special day.
Yes, it is. It's Veterans Day.
Yeah. And all you people, you're a veteran, right?
Yes, I
that's what the
am.
hat says.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, John, for doing that. And
Thank
the two
you.
gentlemen here. For all that, and unfortunately, Mike Lopez and I guess his friend couldn't make it today.
No, you can't.
My heart will go out to them, but I will always respect what the military has done. I have a brother that spent 32 years, and I have another that spent 18 years in the military.
Which adds up to 50.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, you don't get any extra for that.
No. But I couldn't get in. because
18 years. Did they bust him out before he got his
sick.
pension?
Yeah, he got medical. He got a
Oh,
shot
so he
in
did
his
get out.
spine. Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the Korean War, and he got a shot in his spine.
Oh, yeah. And then it will act up later
yeah,
on.
Yeah.
Some of the vets
They're
go in.
stopping from having the wild women, though.
That's the PTSD.
But I almost got arrested because I tried 4 different times to get in the military.
Oh, I was thought you were saying about 4 different women.
No. Oh, no.
Well, you were married 4
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
right?
but that was different.
But it was sequential, not at the
Right,
same
yeah.
time.
But I had to, because I went to Claremont to try to get in. I went in California and I went down here because my left eye never grew.
Right.
So I was considered 4F. They almost arrested me for fraud. Because it said, have you ever tried before? All that.
oh,
you know.
Okay, yeah.
You know.
That's under penalty of perjury, right?
Yeah, but they let me go because I never felt that I was truly complete because of the people that went into the military around my age
Yeah.
back then. You know.
But what can you do? You had a disability.
Yeah, but you know what? I served in other ways.
Right.
You know, beating people up. You know. Actually, I worked on the Travis Air Force Base
Oh, really?
in California. You know where that is, right?
Of course I do.
Oh, but that place was big. But
I
I
don't know
should see
where
the
it
people
is.
coming in in the body bags and all that.
Yeah, and fly him in.
Yeah, and one of my friends says, because he came in, he says, "What did I go to war for?" I said, "For those people over there to protest."
Well, that's part
Right,
of
well,
the
it is,
Constitution,
yeah.
too.
Oh, I
So
was
you
a
don't
big-
blow anything up.
I,
no violence.
I always wore my big peace sign, you know, and I was one of those peace, or I thought I was a big peace person. You know.
Ironically, there was a very well-researched book from '72 about the CIA and the heroin trafficking.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the author's name. He went on to become a professor in Australia. Because that book wasn't, it got widely reviewed in the '70s, early '70s. Came out with the war still on. And I guess they flew some of heroin in and with the bodies.
Oh, yeah, it was an easy way to bring it
Wow.
Yeah, and later on during Reagan's wars in Central America, there was all that,
in. And,
hanky-panky going on.
Well, look at when Bush was director of CIA.
Yeah, he was the only president to be the director of Central Intelligence.
You will
Agency.
never ever tell me that they did not know what was going to happen to the Wall Street Towers.
Well, that's a whole different show.
You know, but you know, sometimes we'll have to come on and talk about it.
Well, I disagree with that, but
Yeah.
that's why we're in America.
Yeah.
That's where there are some things we're not allowed to
No.
disagree
I'm always
about.
getting kicked off of Facebook.
Well, Matt, we were always arguing. I've been jabbed. I'm pro-vaccination,
Yeah.
but I said
You
I
can't
don't.
be against it though. At the same time.
But no, I said I don't blame people that aren't.
Yeah.
That got us banned for 2 weeks. It's just, and it was somebody got mad, but I'm not going to blame people. I'm not going to blame people.
Well, I said on Facebook about why all of a sudden they have boost. You have your 3 vaccinations now,
Well, you
your
have to-
booster or whatever.
I'm used to that in the Army,
yeah.
They, jeez,
When I said, but why don't they
here
tell us?
and there.
Yeah. And one of the things I said, why doesn't the government tell the side effects?
Well, we're
for the
finding them
shot?
out, aren't
Yeah.
we? We're finding them
A
out.
friend of mine, I just got a text from him, and his boss had the shot, and nothing wrong with him, but he ended up dying. Yeah. Then,
But also, I know people
that.
that died from COVID
No, yeah.
because if you have underlying complications like cancer or something, it's the coup de grace. But it can kill you itself.
Yeah.
I did a great deal of research before, and I decided to go with the J&J because of my underlying conditions, and also that it's DNA rather than the messenger RNA.
Yeah.
But I was just talking to my friend Victoria, California, and she has a friend that one of the side effects of Moderna is, I guess, if a woman has sex with a man that's been vaccinated, and I guess you're throwing off, what are the spike proteins or
yeah.
something, you'll have vaginal bleeding.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and who'd have thunk that,
Yeah.
Because you're saying,
Watch your language.
yeah, okay.
Thunk.
Well,
Yeah.
we can even say that on Matt's show on the FCC.
Yeah.
But, just because I argued that I don't blame people who have many reasons, they have reasons not to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And my point, I read an excellent book. My friend Dan Koppel wrote a book based on his cousin, who's an emergency room doctor in the Bronx. And for people in the Bronx, poor people. They don't have health care.
No.
The emergency room doctor is their physician.
Yeah.
And so here are people that have lower life expectancy, have all sorts of underlying conditions because they don't have access to health care. And it was a disaster because the people are so vulnerable to that. But and a lot of African Americans and Hispanic people, particularly African Americans, they know, they have a deep ingrained not only paranoia about the government, but fear of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that they revealed about the Tuskegee experiments, where they take, African American prisoners and expose them without consent.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to blame them, or even middle class white people or upper middle class. You have I'm not going to blame them for a pandemic that's ravaging the world, and they're not killing. This thing killing people. They just had a thing that if you smoke marijuana, you're more susceptible to COVID. So you could just say, well, people that smoke marijuana are killers.
Yeah.
It gets to a logical.
A lot of people are masking because it's legal there.
Oh, they're killing.
Well, I enjoy it, but
you can take an argument like that and go absurdum.
Yeah.
But
I a friend of mine, she's a very good friend of mine, and she's like my adopted daughter, had a grand mal seizure down in Massachusetts. They took her to the hospital. The doctor would not, folks, take care of her because she did not have the shots.
Well, that would violate the Hippocratic Code.
Whatever happened? Nobody cares about that anymore, John.
Well, in the book, the people were treating people that were. It's a fascinating book. It's called Every Minute is a Day, and having to nobody knew. It's like intubating people when you have to. You're doing like a tracheectomy. It's very damaging.
Yeah.
But then they realized, just from chance, that some guy got a little better because he slept on his side. They realized if we put people on the side, it drains. They didn't know that, but it was trial and error.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm afraid. I'm not gonna lie, because of me having the surgery that I've had done and all that. I'm actually literally afraid to get that shot because I really am not ready to die yet. I'm not going to say that I won't, but even the doctors understand.
A lot of people are afraid of the effects.
Yeah.
And when you have companies like Pfizer making obscene profits off of this, this isn't Jonas Salk giving the polio vaccine. In the early 80s, tort lawyers, after winning the Dalcon Shield, I'm supposed to be a lawyer, but my father wanted me to be a lawyer. So out of like Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman says, you screwed up just to spite me.
Yeah.
And that's even Arthur Miller doesn't realize Willie's exactly right.
Met him, by the way.
I didn't become a lawyer, but
I met Arthur Miller.
Well, we can talk about that.
When we do the show,
yeah,
it was great.
But I knew a woman that was the lawyer that handled the Dalcon Shield fund. It was one of the big tort lawyers.
I know a lady who got a ton of money out of that.
Oh yeah, and there's lawyers that will have to take care of it. But there was a big difference in social class because I wasn't a lawyer. She's making like 10 times more. That's a different story. But the thing is, in the early 80s, tort lawyers were financing their own research that was linking the polio vaccines, the live vaccines, to AIDS. And there's a book called The River talking about how in the area that AIDS came out of, the Congo, was where another guy, I can't remember his name, it's a Polish-sounding name. It was a third vaccine, and they were testing it in the 50s there. And what did they use to gain a function, or what you call incubate these cells? They bring them over from Philadelphia, and it's very, very hard. You got the polio cells. You used the simian, monkey, chimpanzee kidneys to incubate it, and then it grows, and then you use the injection. Now, anybody that got the polio vaccine, you, me, or I, we have SIV40, simian.
I never got the polio
Really?
vaccine. Yeah.
We have that the DNA from simians in us. Because that was part of it. And the reason they used simian because they didn't think it would go wild. But see, here's a really good hypothesis because they want AIDS came out of people eating bushmeat. Well, people are getting injected, with stuff that was incubated in simians. And then there's the argument whether they were chimpanzees or other types of stuff. But the tort lawyers were getting ready for a big lawsuit. That's when Congress immunized, if you so to speak, the virus industry. And one of the reasons they gave them immunity from tort lawsuits because they made no profits. Yeah. That the vaccine industry didn't make any profit. You can't say this about this vaccine. It's making billions.
Oh, it sure is.
And
probably trillions.
Thou shalt not, in a country famous, I've lived in other countries. We have the freest speech in the world, except people don't really use it as much. No. And now there's a crackdown on free speech, which I find shocking.
One of the things
because I might disagree with yours, but you have a right to say it.
Hey, this is several years ago. I drive for Lyft, for extra money. Yeah. So this is several years ago. I pick up this guy in Revere, and he's going to Logan. He's going back to Saudi Arabia. He was here for 3 months. And all I did, I asked him, I said, what did you like the most out of America? You know what he said? You can say whatever you want here.
Yeah.
Just the way he said it. The way it hit me.
Yeah.
It's something that simple. You could say whatever you want.
I have a few friends that are actually illegally here.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know what I look at it is?
We call them undocumented.
Yeah, okay. But one of the thing is, she works. Her husband works every day. They pay taxes. And there are a lot of so-called legal people here in this country that it's easier for them. I'm not saying they don't need to be on it or anything like that. For them to have the government take care of them, than the one that. Like my friends, they do. They're from Mexico. They do a great job. They pay taxes. They support the. When they get all the pay because their work can become legal, I'm going to have them come on the show. You'll come on with them, and we'll have a big celebration because you know what? We're not founded on hating each other, or we're not supposed to be.
Well, we were founded on hating the British.
Yeah, And my son got kicked off.
And the French, and the Indians.
Yeah. That's
if you're, but then all the other ethnic groups thrown in too. Yeah. After so many 200 some odd years.
Isn't it so? But hate's been going on for centuries.
Well, hate. How can you have love if there's no hate?
Yeah, but I mean, they hate this one. They hate. From what I've been told, and I love living in Manchester. When I used to live.
I hate it.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. Well, you love it. Somebody's going to hate it.
Yeah, there you go.
It keeps us in balance.
Yeah, there you
right?
go. But
do you live in Manchester?
Yes.
Oh.
Although I hate it because he loves it. We're both in Ward 10. If I lived in Ward 9, I could love it because then we wouldn't need the balance. Right?
They have did Ross win?
No, he lost. He gained one vote. Not really. I told him that campaigning with her would cost him an election, and it did. Yeah. I
feel just because I was wrong on that. Yeah, but that's okay. He will run again. But one of the things that I've been told is how the French would carry rocks in their pockets across the river to go to war. And the Irish would carry rocks too. They'd have a rock throwing contest.
Well, my father is half Scotch.
Yeah, me too.
And half English. But during the Depression, he left Litchfield, which, was given them the grant. The Hopwood lands, which used to be the Whittemore lands, which the Whittemores is a big clan that goes back. Yeah. When Litchfield used to be Massachusetts, nobody...
Wow, Litchfield used to be Massachusetts?
Oh, yeah, because borders were very flexible then, and, Vermont used to be part of New Hampshire, blah, blah, blah. But as a boy, he grew up up Granite Square on Granite Street, and since he looked Irish, because he looked like his mother, who was full-blooded Scottish, he would be, and he was, even though he's a Protestant, and he'd have to cross the river to go to church, he would, with the Irish kids, when he was little, he had his wagon, and they put the stones in it. And where West High is, Conant Street, that was the dividing line between the Irish and the French Canadian. And they would throw stones and fight and everything. But then the next generation, they all intermarried, you know. But Manchester had Irish churches and Irish parochial schools, and right nearby French Canadian schools and French Canadian parochial schools and French Canadian churches. And they used to say that St. Mary's Church in the West Side, a lot of French of my grandparents used to call that their cathedral, but it wasn't a cathedral. So my mother was, although she was part French Canadian, she was mostly Irish and identified. She's from the East Side. And I didn't know, because we weren't brought up Catholic, because my father lied to the priest. And I said, oh, yeah, we'll bring up Catholic. And then gave him to his Protestant mother, you know. So we're over at the, St. Joe's, and I say, so this is the Irish cathedral? And, because the French, he says, there's only one, there's only one.
Well, they're very defensive, aren't they? You know, they really are. And
she would never admit she was part French Canadian, and until she was older.
But
because they're last in, you're the one.
I would.
That's what people were like, you know. Yeah. It's like Northern Ireland; they look exactly alike, but one's Catholic and one's Irish.
Yeah. And one's Protestant. They're both Irish.
Right. One's the Protestant and
Irish.
Yeah. And
well, you got the
Scots
Polish.
came from Ireland,
Well, you got the Greek Orthodox Church.
Well, that's different.
But then they got the Episcopal. No, I mean, but the Polish Catholic. Have you ever been to I went to a Polish Catholic funeral.
I only go to Catholics for.
Boy, was that a long drawn out.
And to when you have to do a little work, a Catholic church is very good, you know.
Yeah.
That's something a Protestant church just doesn't. The telegraph line was broken like 500 years ago.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I want to say, I don't always agree with the Catholic. I'm firm believer.
You were brought up a Catholic, were you not? Yeah.
So that's Protestant Catholic and that, you know. But the one thing I won't say is with the Catholics and their churches, that they do help the poor people. They
help everybody in the parish.
They have
the largest charity, Catholic charities.
In Boston, the suburbs, when they had all sorts of demographic changes, block busting, everything. When African Americans started taking over traditionally ethnic neighborhoods, they like if you're Jewish, you just roll up the Torah and you can go. And Protestant, you can just go. But to a Catholic church, that's the Catholic churches and the priests remain behind because that's a parish. And even though most of the African Americans were not Catholic, they would minister to them too and help them. And that's something that was forgotten when all the trouble over busing and integration and that.
Well, when Scott and I was having trouble getting food and stuff, the church that we lived near, they were very helpful. The St. Episcopal Church, and we need to have food and stuff like that.
Well, that's Episcopal. Now you're talking about Protestant.
No, I'm talking about Catholic Church down by. I live by.
It was called Episcopal?
No, St. Andrew's is the
Episcopal.
Oh, okay. But both of them.
Never been in there.
But I'll tell you, and churches,
against the Church of England.
Yeah, and I got to tell you that the churches are very helpful in time of need. So when
that's part of their mission. And if you're in the parish.
But I can remember my friend of mine. He had sexual assault on him, right? And he went and told his mother, "Oh no, that couldn't be true." Because the old Irish women and the old French Canadian women, the priests were gods.
That's true.
They would not. They would make sure that the church got money, even if the children had to be sacrificed for new shoes or whatever, because the churches had to be supported.
Well, my mother said when she was a girl, she would have crawled on her knees halfway across the world to kiss the bishop's ring.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be buried at a Catholic at the end.
In Enfield, New Hampshire, they have a place called the La Chalette Shrine.
Yeah.
And I went up them steps. It's a long. We'll have to go up there. It's a long. But then I went up there about 10 years ago, and I wanted to see because at Christmas time, it was the most beautifully decorated. La Chalette Shrine was really, and now they've sold a lot of their property off. Now it's condos and all that. what is John? What is happening to our city? What is happening to
City,
our
or
country?
city, or the world.
The world. Well, I'm looking at now by where I
You should
live.
see. You should see a place like Minneapolis, or Seattle.
Oh, I know. Detroit. I know.
Well,
Detroit
down by
would
the
be on the
baseball
pale.
stadium over there, down by, they have it here across the Merrimack, and
Well, maybe if the governor would do something.
and they have all these condos here. That all the when I first moved here 14 years ago, or no, actually longer than that, it was all
Wow.
beautiful
How can
wooded.
you have moved here 14 years ago when you've had a show for 20? What is it?
Yeah,
now?
Well, I
hey,
shut it
what's
out
going
on
on?
Cumberland Street. Yeah, no, I shut it out on Cumberland Street, but where I live now.
Who's Who's been on Manchester Public TV longer? You or Levasseur?
Well, Lavassa left for a while and came back.
Okay.
So I think that's
He's
been
got
on
20 years. Under
Yeah,
the belt.
I've got 23. And
How
then
long
there
do
was
you
a
have?
there was a black lady that was
8
on.
long years.
I can't remember her name, but she was a born again Christian. Really believe. I loved her dearly as a person, and I think she was long on before she passed to any of us. And I can remember I went to one of her fellowship meetings. I was invited to dinner there with a couple other people. And she looked at me. She said, "Oh, the devil's here." And she's running back. And
The devil.
when I still loved her, you know. And Mary George.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. She said, "I got to get her on the show." You'll love it if you meet her.
Yeah.
She used to say to me, "No, man." I go, "What?" "Jesus loves you, no, man." And I'd say, "Well, I'm glad somebody did." But we remained friends. You know, two things you should never judge anybody: their religious beliefs or their political beliefs. Judge them for who they are, not what they believe.
It depends. Get her Hitler right, you know.
Well, hey, you know what? Isn't that his? If you respect Hitler, isn't that your right?
No, I don't respect that.
No, I said if
Or
somebody
Stalin.
does. No, but I mean, if
Pol
somebody,
Pot.
and still, as long as they're not violent.
No, you think that person's crazy, you know.
Well, that's okay, but you stay away from them.
right.
When it's still their right
And
to
I
do
would
it.
judge them too.
Yeah. I try not to, but I'm an easy judger. It must be the gay in me, you know, being easy to judge other people. But
You're compensating.
there you go.
There you
But you know, if everybody, instead of saying, you know, "Oh, I had a lady that won't come to my office because I didn't have the shots,"
Well, yeah,
and
that's
I said, "That's okay."
Yeah.
And she said, "I said I have a mask," and she said, "Well, I still can't." I said, "But you had the shot, so you should be protected." And she said, "Well, I'll pay you after the reading." I said, "No, you'll pay me first."
Yeah.
okay.
Have you ever got that? "I'll pay you after the
Yeah.
reading." I won't read until they.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
sure.
you ask a prostitute, will she take a check?
Yeah. So, she had the bounces up in here, right? You know.
Yeah, they
Actually, I've
bounced
been-
off the floor.
California is the one that actually I had 3 people from California that asked me, actually didn't pay me, and that's okay. You know what? I always look at it, if they don't have the money, be honest with me. I'll give you a free reading. You know, because that's the way I.
I thought
am.
you were talking about prostitution in California.
Oh, honey, I was that too. But anyways, but I lived a wild life, you know. But you know, if someone like the one thing I won't do is someone, if I know they're getting state financial aid, like for the children or whatever, I absolutely refuse to charge them. Absolutely refuse, because it's your tax dollars, his tax dollars, my tax dollars that are paid to help support these children, and that's where the money's supposed to go. I would rather give them a free reading. And I do. And the one thing I find that happens is when you donate your time to somebody to learn something, it's the ones that get the freebies that mess you up because, "Oh, well, I don't have to go today because he won't mind," you know. When
Yeah.
You know, it's the ones that, so, but I've been blessed. I just did a lady from Russia the other day.
From Russia?
Moscow.
In Russia?
Yeah, well, she's in New York now,
Okay.
but from Moscow. If she goes back, she will be hung.
Why?
Because she's a traitor, as far as I'm concerned.
She's a what?
A traitor,
Uh-oh.
according to them. But then I had another lady who had a food tester. She owned 3 banks and 3 hotels, and she had this young girl who would check her food out to make sure it wasn't poison.
Another Russian?
Yeah. And I said, "What happens if she dies?" "Well, then
I'm
I
going
can't eat
to
it."
put a message into a Russian.
Yeah.
See if she'll call in.
Yeah.
Her name's Vianon.
All right. Have a
Yeah.
go. You know, and I always had an interpreter. They pay well.
Who pays well?
People from Russia, they pay well.
Well, a lot of them that have been here for years, from years ago,
yeah.
they pay well because they got tons of money
Yeah.
because they paid to get out.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of my son went when the gentleman from Russia that was a born again Christian told him I said he was going to go to hell and all that other stuff. And so that's what I'm saying. Everybody, as long as they live.
What about Glenn Argiolette? Would you charge him? He was on Matt's show yesterday with us.
I wouldn't charge him.
That's okay.
He wouldn't have the money.
He doesn't. He works hard. He is. I go to Home Depot and he's there.
Yeah. I guess he
You
wants.
can hear him talk. He likes to talk.
Oh.
So you're there in one aisle. There's Glenn. And walk over.
You know, the one thing I got to give Glenn a lot of credit for, I really do. If he puts his mind up to something, he's going to find a way to do it.
Yeah, he's going back to Africa.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see. He's supposed to bring 2 kids back, right?
Right.
That I have a problem with, but that's up to him. And you know what? Like when he did run for mayor, even though
Several times.
but one of them we know who did it. We can't mention names.
That's
Really
right, or we'll
ruined
get
him.
sued.
Huh?
We'll get sued.
Yeah.
Did what? I mean, what did they do?
Somebody gave him $100 to register. You know, you need money.
Yeah.
It's $100
Well,
to
he
go
was
from
on
there. So every crank just isn't able to do
Well,
it.
he was
like
on-
We, if it was free, me and him would run for him. We'd
Yeah,
run all the
right.
time. Yeah, we'd run for all the
Yeah, but
offices.
what do you have to do? You have to pay what? Just to register, to file?
Right, because you can either put in signatures
Right.
or pay the money. Like
You're
for all the large,
kidding.
it's $50.
Yeah.
Well, you just can't
Well,
rent.
when-
Why not?
Why
When-
not get the signatures?
Glenn might discourage people from actually signing.
He did better this last time he ran for mayor than he did the other.
He got 132 votes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's-
Almost $1 a vote.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I got
one day-
5,000. What did I get? 5,000 votes for my $50. I guess I did it better.
What did you
no,
run
it's
for?
No, it's 5,000. It's 500.
That's good to say.
Alderman at large. 5,000.
But he, no.
I got
this one
500
guy-
for $50.
Yeah. That one guy went on to a gay thing on Facebook,
A gay thing or
Yeah.
a gay thing?
a gay
Who did?
page. I'm not mentioning names.
Oh.
And he
talking-
got back and said about how Glenn went into this and Glenn went into that.
Oh, that was years ago.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
But that didn't help Glenn either. And yet, unless you can prove it, don't make an accusation.
When the biggest a-hole in
Yeah,
Manchester,
right,
right?
yeah,
That was
we
one of my
both-
articles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and see, this is the trouble. People will look for bad things to, if you decide, like if you went to, that's why I said if you running for mayor, I'll be your campaign manager.
Well, I
and
wouldn't
are you
run.
gonna but I mean, would you have any
Why wouldn't you
secrets I
run?
wouldn't know?
Not able to be married. You have complex PTSD. Some days I'm just flat out crazy.
That's what you need to be for mayor.
Ross says, Ross Darrell says I should run for alderman. But you know what? I have more fun
Ross
slamming.
is Ross
love
is the one who
Ross.
put me up.
Yeah,
Do you literally love Ross?
I really like Ross a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to get this precise.
He's a very good friend. I'll put it that way. I feel sad
Is
that
he thinking of
lost.
losing his? Is he going to leave his wife?
No,
Okay. So he's unavailable.
no.
Because Gonzo says he's handsome.
I don't believe everything God will say.
So does Vianon.
Yeah.
No, Vianon thinks Gonzo's handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Sent the
Gonzo has a
message.
learning disability.
Gonzo? I blame everything on Gonzo.
I know.
If only Victoria Sullivan had learned about, just blame it on Gonzo.
Yeah,
You know, she's
I was
better.
listening to you and I were both listening to you too. When you had those other 2 guys on.
Jeez, I had to cut that show. But that folks, that last like 15 minutes is up.
Yeah.
But it took a while.
I will say he's
Mary
a great,
thought I was going to lose my show.
I will say that Gonzo is a great artist.
Yeah, he just
I have my
is-
picture on the wall that he made of me, and I've had a lot of compliments from him.
He's impetuous.
Right.
Well, visual artists are really. I'd like to. We can't use the F word.
No,
So a past particle of that, up. Yeah, I lived with a woman that was a visual artist.
Yeah.
They are from another world.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe they're aliens.
Yeah. I believe in aliens.
Well, I do. I saw a UFO when I was a kid.
Where?
Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm from the west side.
Come on.
I have a lady that comes in and she reminds me.
Well,
the
wait,
night-
no, wait. I
It
got
was the
more
last
questions.
night
Wait.
Johnny West was on TV.
Like, how close was it, or what did it look like? Or what?
Well, it was just a tyke, you know.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's something you'd
It looked
remember.
like one of those, which you wouldn't even call modern anymore,
Right.
but you'd say, like, this is 1964 or 5. So, you know, everything became modern. Everything was like a glass box. So it was like one of those banks or something, or off that were new, no stone or anything. It looked just
Yeah.
like, you know, a rectangle
Yeah.
of maybe a 3 or 4-story office building. You know, just sailed by.
When my
How big was it? I mean, how?
Well, it was. I'm going to use my army from how many yards away? Could have been. It's hard when you're looking at something like that.
Yeah.
We could shoot to 300 yards accurately,
Wow.
which is
Still.
1,000 feet.
Still.
Had to be more than that, but maybe.
Wow, that's
half a
pretty
mile.
cool.
Or maybe less. It seemed like it was right there over
Well-
the west side, near the Piscataqua River. But you know, you're just a
when my
kid.
Yeah.
my next to the oldest stepdaughter and her friend, we were watching the spaceship, literally going around, and we're at Memorial Park, and it's going around and around, and all of a sudden we could see it landing, but we couldn't go near. And my next to the oldest stepdaughter and her friend, they actually came out, and not like they were hypnotized when they came out.
Wow.
And then remembered, the only time she remembered anything is when she was pregnant.
Huh.
Yeah, so, and it's real, folks. They are out there. You can call me off the wall or whatever, but they are. There has to be other planets that have people going.
Well, this is, I don't know how many years
Arcturus.
how many years ago, but wasn't it a guy, he was either New Hampshire or Maine.
Betty and Barney, what's their last name? Because my stepmother went to visit them in 70. He was dead, 74. I can find it. It was the Exeter incident.
Yeah, that was amazing. I remember seeing that on TV. That was so fascinating because they gave like details of in the spaceship and this and every other
Well,
thing.
this friend of mine down in Derry, New Hampshire, he moved down. I went over to his house. And, you know, we do not make a perfect circle. Do you agree?
Right.
This one had the 3 stands. Okay, because that's what, and they were perfectly lined up. And he actually showed me pictures where they were all blurry, so you really couldn't see what was going on with them. And I can always remember that. You could feel the energy. You know,
Wow.
this
Betty
is-
and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
I
That's
should've-
it.
I thought that the Hill was the name, but yeah. So my stepmother went to see her for a paper she's writing for. She was at State University of New York because she had a one of those alien abduction experiences. And when she walked in, she saw the sculpture of what would be called now an alien gray, which wasn't really known at the time. And she said, "That's who I saw." But here's the thing: I've talked about it on Matt's show, Matt Conan's show. Is my father was there when she was having the experience. She was there in the bedroom and told him the entire experience. She never
Wow.
left the bedroom. But that doesn't mean that the experience doesn't happen.
Oh, I think it happens more than we know.
But it could happen in other ways. But
Right.
it's something universal because people like Joseph Smith and other Mormons
Yeah.
of the time discussed being visited by angels because that's how you would talk about it. And they're always from the waist up.
Yeah.
And then there are other people that have experiences like that. And they talk about somebody's there, but it's like a humanoid.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not talking about now the alien gray, and
Yeah.
but you only see them from the waist up.
Well,
So
I
there's
can-
common experiences people have had through time.
I can remember being 18 years old. I was working at the Merrimack County Nursing Home and was living in this room. And I was feeling scared and alone, you know, and I really believe my mother came in spirit form. I couldn't see the face,
Well, I would believe that.
you know,
yeah.
and she had the most beautiful blue chiffon gown, and I could see her hair. And when I went to touch her, she disappeared. So I'm a firm believer in that angels are
Yeah.
real. UFOs are real, you
Spirit,
know.
yeah.
And no, folks, I'm proud of myself. I haven't done pot in a week. I got to make up
Well,
for
you don't
it
want to
later.
be killing people.
Well, they already know I do it. I don't Even the cops know, so what the hell?
Now, here's something. From where I saw a UFO in like 64, 65, somebody else in the neighborhood, let's say, not very far from there, saw a UFO. She was with her grandmother, and they both saw the UFO. Now, she
The
was
same one?
They saw a UFO. This was a different time. Remember, I saw something that was rectangular that I can only think of looked like a new office buildings, which were going up in the 50s and 60s, rather than buildings made out of stone, like banks and everything were. So her and her grandmother, she was I don't know, 6, 7, born in the early 50s. The grandmother was born at the turn of the century. They both see a UFO. The little girl, who was born after World War II, saw it as a flying saucer. The woman, her grandmother, who was born right after the turn of the last century, like 1904 and 1905, saw it as a flying cigar. They're seeing the same phenomenon, but they're interpreting it from what the little girl would see such a phenomenon as a flying cigar. But there were UFOs, Victorian times and after, and they saw them as what they didn't have dirigibles in the early Victorian times, not till dirigibles came later. Yeah. But she saw it as a dirigible. But they're seeing the same phenomenon, the same energy.
Yeah. In Arizona, what's it called? 51?
New Mexico.
Area 51.
I got to go in about 12 minutes, but I'll tell you about Area 51.
Okay.
All right.
Because it's, I can't tell you though because I'm sworn to secrecy. Actually, we are because that should tell you something.
See, the thing that people got to realize, there is other.
So, is it true or not? Can you answer that? Can you tell that?
I can't say that either.
I wouldn't want to say it.
Oh.
I'll tell Norma later.
Yeah. One of the things that I know, do I think that there is a being?
There are things, but they're more mundane than you think.
Yeah. I've been by there, I'll put it that way.
Roswell. Well, Area 51's in Nevada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whorehouse near there that I went to.
You also...
Where, in Nevada?
Yeah.
It's up near North Las Vegas.
Did you know that up in Plymouth?
I was young. I was in the Army. So you find out, you hear all sorts of phenomena in Nevada.
Yeah. But up in outside of Plymouth, New Hampshire, did you know that they wore a prisoner camps up there?
Oh yeah, it was Germans and Italians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were treated that just as... Oh yeah.
They had the labor. If you were an officer, you didn't labor, but you were put to work on farming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were...
Men were
the prisoners, like from Germany or from Japan, were treated just as badly.
Oh, that's not true.
As we were in other countries.
That's not true.
No, that's true.
That's not true.
No, well,
you're the first person that's ever said that.
No. Well, I have a professor. His name was Professor Dockerman, who was a teacher at Plymouth State.
He sounds like one of those men in black.
Well, it probably was, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Spreading lies.
That they spread just, we treated them just as badly as they treated us.
Norm, come on.
No, prisoners of war, we don't know what actually went on.
Yes, you do, because we have people that came out of prison.
No, not anymore.
POWs.
Yeah, But I'm
there were POWs. I've actually met them.
Yeah.
The Korean war soldiers that were kept by the Chinese. It was barbarous. I've met. They came out not weighing 6 foot tall man, 85 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not. The brutality.
I love the way the governor tried to say, tried to say there was no such thing as prison of war with Germans and all that.
Oh, we talk about Rich Girard again?
No, there are some people that are in the government trying to say that this all never happened.
What didn't happen?
Not that POWs, like for the...
Yeah, they were in Germany and also there were Germans and Italian POWs that are buried in military prisons.
I actually was going to have a link, and that's...
buried in military cemeteries because they died during the... But, Texas and everything, but they had...
I had this one lady, her and her husband were going to come on, and the same day that she was come on, she died.
Was it the Professor Darkerman?
I don't know who.
The Men in Black?
Yeah, there you go. But I had her all, all of a sudden, I was all excited. All of a sudden, they said, we can't come on. I go, why? I'm panicking. And she told me that, well, she didn't tell me, her husband told me that his wife had died. The war is a horrible thing. And I believe that we're in World War II now, or War III. We're in a war. And it's not the best war of all its wars because people are using intelligence and poisoning the world. Radiation is one of the worst enemies going. It affects our bodies.
Well, let's not talk about that.
That's why I had cancer here, because I used to carry my
I got radiated in the Army.
Yeah.
but it was in secret. And this is true. Whatever happened, and it's called secret blood. That never happened.
Yeah.
And you could die or whatever, and
By the way, this is tomorrow is Veterans Day.
yeah,
And
Veterans
folks-
Day. There's going to be a parade at
Is it?
10:30, starting up at Webster Street, coming down Elm Street, and then they'll come to. I never know which parks, which park.
They usually
Because
go
it's
to the-
Veterans Park.
Yeah, they go to Veterans Park every
Veterans Park, right? Yeah, and
That makes sense.
they'll have speeches there, and they're going to dedicate 2 memorials to the Korean War veterans. Oh, I have it here from Mike Lopez because he was sick, but he sent me a message. And
Now, do they still have the vets going into the schools and talking to the kids?
that seems like a thing that happened many
Yeah,
years
when
ago.
I was in school, every
Colin
Veterans
Fisk came
Day.
to West High, but in a uniform. But he was the rookie of the year for the
You
Red
know,
Sox.
see, the problem that I believe is that we have gotten so disrespectful to our military people.
Oh,
And
that's
embrace
not
that.
true.
Oh, that is absolutely true.
No, it was before 9/11, but after 9/11, it depended on where you were. If you're in Texas, everybody liked you. You'd be out marching, and everybody's there. If you marched in Boston, they'd probably stone
Jerry.
you. But
How
after
come all of a-
9/11,
how come all of a sudden?
yeah, it's the Korean War Battlefield Cross is going to be dedicated. VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the Catholic War Veterans sponsored it. Yeah, it's that, it's got it's a battlefield cross. 'Cause when you die in the battlefield, they stick the rifle
And
in,
they-
put a helmet, and then they come and get you later.
They do that.
But-
I
so
went
they're
to the Veterans
representations of that.
Cemetery. That's a beautiful.
Which one?
Veterans in Bosco.
Oh, yeah.
That is really. We'll go visit sometimes. One of my roommates is buried up there, cremated in there.
That's a
you know.
very nice
Yeah,
cemetery.
it really is. But I don't understand how come all of a sudden politicians are celebrating, are honoring the military when they have never done it in the last 2 or 3 years.
Oh, they-
Midterms
Oh,
are coming
come
up.
on.
This
No,
is the
it's-
midterms.
Every president does.
Not this
Trump, Biden, they all do,
Well,
Trump,
see, that's why
always
United.
Trump-
Yeah,
Trump always trumpeted.
Trump is always
Everybody
suspected.
tries to help.
yeah. Trump also donated the money that he made to the veterans.
No, that turned out to be a scam. It turned
What do you
out
mean?
to be. Well, he gave it to an organization that wasn't so up and up. So I think he clawed it back.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
The only good president was John F. Kennedy.
there was plenty of good presidents.
Like
Abraham
who?
Lincoln.
When I'm talking about that we know of. Abraham Lincoln, absolutely, but I'm talking about John F.
Are you
Kennedy.
against you didn't like Ike? You're old enough to remember Ike.
I remember Ike. Yeah, I
like
that.
Fonzie said on Happy Days, he
Yeah.
won the war.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ike, and I like
Ike.
JFK.
Okay, we got
but then
2
on
there.
down.
Nixon.
Jesus. He actually starts to look good, huh?
Actually, I think Nixon and took a
You can
rap
bring
for a
him
lot
back.
of
No
them.
difference.
I really think Nixon took the blame for a lot of people.
No, I think but he was an alcoholic and.
Well, that's what.
What
Very
they're doing in
brilliant
this
guy.
country now is far worse than what Nixon ever did.
And
I don't know.
Tricia, she used to live in Cambridge.
Who? Yeah.
Tricia.
Yeah.
The daughter.
Yeah. So I don't know of any honest politician in this country.
Bernie Sanders. What's he got to lie about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know any honest. Everything goes the way it floats their boat. I don't care if they're Republican.
Well, if you
I don't care if
didn't
they're
lie,
Democrat.
you wouldn't be elected because
Right.
people want to be lied
And if
to.
you didn't
But
have
it
a-
depends. It's like prostitution again. There are as we found out from President Trump, there's $10,000 a night hookers, which I guess the price has gone up in 30 years.
Yeah.
And not that I was ever in that class.
No.
And then you got your $20 curb
Well, I lost a
crawler.
lot of money to prostitutes and
Who hasn't? If
But
you're in the
you know
army.
what? Yeah. But the one thing that I know is that we gotta, everybody, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're Democrat, Christian, non-Christian, whatever, we gotta start standing strong to make this the best country in the world. We gotta get back into it. We were.
I
We
agree.
gotta drop
Everybody's got to go back to being pro-American.
Yeah, and we gotta drop
Who's
the,
anti-American?
everybody.
Nancy Pelosi.
There you go.
Why is she anti-American?
Well, she wants to pass. Look at what she's passing. All these
Anti what?
anti-American bills.
What's anti-American? I see her
Well,
as
look what
somebody
she
that's
did.
stealing
Oh.
very efficiently. But
What?
what's more American than a politician stealing,
Well,
using
that's
their
it.
inside
You know, see,
information?
that's it. I believe that.
That's America,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
Ponzi scheme.
And you know, I blame the American people for
The American people
continually.
were screwed all the time, from
I
time
agree.
immemorial.
Everyone is like
JFK had too
40
much money; he didn't have to steal. Right?
Yeah. Well, his father made it illegally by being a bootlegger, but that's okay. But I mean, first of all, I blame the American people for voting for these people like Biden, who've been in for what 40 years. Pelosi's been in,
50 almost.
Maxine Waters, all these people.
But
who've
what do
been
they?
You know,
Maxine
people just
Waters,
keep-
you have to live in Los Angeles in her district to vote for her.
Yeah, but still, you know, she hates white people.
Oh, she doesn't.
Yeah, she
She's
does.
just a
Read
blow.
that.
She's just a blowhard.
Yeah, you know.
How do you?
But-
What do you think you're going to get elected? You
I
know,
know. That's the whole thing, you know.
you've got
And
you've
then
got to
our
speak
fault-
to your. You know,
Like Lou Del Cendro. He's been in what now? For how many years?
he was a
now?
Republican.
No, he's a Democrat.
He was a
Was he?
Republican.
Then he turned Democrat.
That's right. There used to be liberal Republicans.
And you know they keep reelecting. They keep reelecting. So if
What are you going to elect? A Carla Garricky who wants to be,
You like him,
who's
huh?
South African, who wins the lottery,
Yeah.
to come to the United States and repays the United States by saying,
Yeah.
well, let's make New Hampshire a separate country.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
I
you
wouldn't
know.
mind being the head of my own country, but you don't see me talking like that, you know? That's something like,
Well,
if I were king, right, like W.C. Fields movie from the 30s.
oh, I love Chairman.
The one, what is it, the damn, if I had a million,
Yeah, yeah.
the damn road, they keep
Yeah.
buying car after
Yeah,
car,
yeah.
the damn road
Yeah.
hog.
But we all, you know, the main thing.
But we
is-
don't live in the W.C. Fields world, you know?
It seems like the worse the record a criminal has, the more chance they have of winning on anything.
Well, that's just
Look at Snoopy
one of the
Dogg.
paradoxes
Yeah.
of life.
I mean, look at Snoopy Dogg. He was in prison, then he made money being a rapper.
Well, he's not a politician, is he?
No, I'm surprised. He will be.
Why would he take a pay cut?
Because of the publicity. I always thought him and Martha Stewart had something going.
Well, they did a commercial
Yeah.
together.
And they did a TV show together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. you know.
I don't watch television.
I watch only wrestling.
I watch some. I don't watch a lot. I don't watch broadcast TV.
I will not watch
I
sports.
can't afford it.
The reason why I have is because I have my TV show, so when I go home sometimes. But yet I never watch my old TV show after it's all
I don't
done.
watch
Do you?
my shows unless all of a sudden Gonzo's done something. And, you're being threatened. You have to edit the damn thing.
I'm standing there listening to you two, and the tears are just coming out of my. That was great.
I can't even
TV.
remember what happened. I
Oh,
just remember he went and then I went. And,
Yeah.
You know,
But
poor Andy Sylvia. Oh, that's right. Rosanna called in. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was
Yeah.
great TV, actually. That really was.
Yeah, but whenever they say it's great TV or great radio, it's at some cost to
Yeah.
one's psyche and
Well,
sense
Matt,
of
Matt and I
equanimity.
were together for like 6 or 7 years. At
Oh, I thought it was 14 or 15.
Oh no, not that 9. No,
I thought it was half of your 39 years here.
not 39.
What? No?
22.
Oh, you're
Yeah, like
shaving some years
23.
off. You're
Well,
trying
anyway.
to pretend you're younger.
I started in 2000.
And he's talking about Joe Biden now,
Yeah.
being around for 50 years.
I love doing my show. Actually, believe it or not, I mean, people have a hard time. When I was growing up as a kid, I was actually very shy. And then I got this.
I don't believe it,
Oh,
do
I
you?
really
No,
was.
I don't either.
know.
No.
And if you knew my friends.
And then, remember the fabulous furry Freak Brothers?
Oh, yeah.
Dropped some acid, and then you became Norm.
No, yeah. And then, but Matt and I
Norm the
never,
Cub Scout becomes
Matt
Norm.
and I never, politically, Matt and I never agreed. But we had a good show.
Yeah.
Like he would talk about once a week he'd go and take a shower, he'd get stripped down, he'd slam against the wall in the river, and stuff. People literally would, or he'd leave
Oh,
his
yeah,
pee-
satire doesn't
Yeah.
work for everybody. Literally believes it.
and he would take your pants off before he sat here and did a TV show or whatever.
Oh, that got everybody going.
Oh,
right?
it should, yeah. Well, and then we talked about
I'll have to
dogs.
try that maybe next week
Yeah,
or the week
yeah.
after.
That's like Rosanna who had called in. She's Irish. So troublemaker,
Yeah.
I'm a liberal, I don't like ethnic stereotypes, but I'm Irish too. So and as you, so I get pains in the ass, right?
And
Irish people.
we had one lady call the mayor's office because we would. I think what's his name? Gassett was the mayor. Okay, she called the mayor's office
He'd actually do it.
because we were talking about blow up dolls. She thought that was very inappropriate.
It is at the hour that you were on. Now after like 7 o'clock,
Yeah,
like
well,
the Lavasser wasn't Lavasser a blow up doll?
but
Somebody underneath.
But so I called the mayor's office. I said, "I'll tell you what. So you have a peace of mind. We won't talk about a blow up doll, even though we could, because we weren't really saying anything bad. You know, and people had to read between the lines.
Well, he might have thought you were talking about him. He was all
Could be,
puffed up.
yeah,
And
you know.
he was just a big balloon of hot air.
You know, I'm surprised that he's not running for mayor.
He can't. He couldn't.
I know, but I'm just saying. Watch it. We better be careful. We in a lawsuit here. You
He
know?
would never win.
No.
He blew it. You know?
Well, that's the sad part with Victoria. With all the I had no respect for her. What's her name? She was the attorney general and became senator.
Kelly Ayotte.
Kelly Ayotte, I have
Well, I
no
got to get
respect
going
for
because
her.
my back's about to disintegrate.
Okay,
And I don't want to
well,
get a ticket. But Kelly Ayotte, I'll just say, I used to love to interview her. Everybody thought I had a crush on her,
Well,
and they
did
were
you?
right.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's going to run for Senate again, so I get to
Oh,
cover
I
her
think so.
again.
But Sununo's running for governor again.
But less said about that jackass.
I got No, I call him a rhino.
I can think of another word,
Yeah, well,
but
I'm
we
on
don't
the
want to get
air.
in trouble.
I'm on the air.
Good seeing you getting on.
And you too. Thanks for coming on.
Sinister things.
Yeah.
My hands all
Yeah.
screwy. Nice
There
meeting you.
Same.
Yep.
Meeting you. I'm
Take care.
Yeah, drive careful.
I
I'll get a hold of
We'll
Mike
see you.
Hennington
Take care.
on again.
Adios.
He was funny, you know. But that was a good show. That was good. Broke up the day. But
Yeah.
one of the things I firmly believe in these people. I blame the American people for keep reelecting.
right, and then they complain.
Then
We
they
want
complain.
change. We want change, and they don't vote for change.
Yeah. So if you want change, it's time to vote. Lou Dellin Sutherland's been in for over, I don't know how many years.
Who?
But Lou Dellin, he's a state senator.
Oh,
The one thing he did do, and I'm surprised that it got defeated, he wanted to bring in the casino gambling. I'm in favor of that. Casino gambling. They gamble now.
right. But just look in Mass, the places. Look at Everett and look at Springfield. They got the casinos, and look, it's true what they say. Look at the crime that came with
Yeah.
it.
But they already have casinos. How they get around in it, they have to give a certain amount of money to charity.
Who
Okay.
does?
Now, if they have a gambling casino or a gambling
Yeah.
place, they have to give a certain amount of money to a charity, and the rest is profit.
Wow. Well, in Mass,
Isn't
they
that-
have to give. They have to give. I know, like the one in Everett gives a ton of money to the city. I think they give them like $12 million,
Yeah,
$1 million a month.
Yeah, you know.
So
And
bribe.
when Megabucks started out 40 years ago,
Yeah.
okay, all that was supposed to go to education.
Yeah. It does,
Now,
doesn't it?
No,
What's it going for?
pockets of people.
Wow.
The lottery commission makes a very good salary. You pay, and you're thinking that they have to send that out. We got all kinds of lottery, the dollar ones, the $5, $50 ones, $100 ones. You know, then you got your Powerball, you got your Megabucks. you
Yeah,
got
but
your
even
Lucky.
up here, they got the thing you put in the machine. It's like
Yeah.
$20 instant.
Yeah,
As soon as the ticket comes out, you know if you won or not.
Yeah.
Which is talk about instant isn't the word.
yeah. You know, so if you're going, and this one lady says, "Well, my husband, if you legalize gambling, my husband's going to spend all his money on gambling."
Right.
But then again, don't people spend a lot of money on alcohol?
Well, that's what I go. I mean, how can you say, well, no, you can't open a casino because people will spend their money and they're like, if they got a problem gambling. Yeah, well, so then what are you going to do? Close every single bar in town?
Yeah.
I mean, it says, I don't get it.
You know, people have choices. If they want to do drugs, or if they want to do gambling, if they want to drink alcohol, or if they just want to run up and down the street or whatever, we have choices. That's what free will is all about.
Exactly. And what they
Do
have
we have a
to
paper, Scott?
What?
Do we have the paper who's coming on? All right. Well, next week I got our friend Lynn. You're coming on, right?
I'm coming on. I'll be
We're
back.
going to have a great time. You know that with Liz.
with Liz.
And I
Yeah.
told her little boy can come and sit with us.
Oh,
if he
wow.
wants to,
What a thrill
you know?
for him.
Yeah. I used to love it because a lot of time I want to get back into having other entertainment because I used to dance on TV with the other people, with women that come on.
Cut it out. So you can dance next week.
Yeah.
There's enough room right here.
No, we used to dance out there.
Well, there's enough
We'd have
room.
like a band come in, or we'd have music in the background, like
Wow. Well, Scott can get us some music.
yeah, and we used to dance and stuff like that. Until, you know, so I love doing what I do,
It's a
and
lot of fun.
I love having you come on.
Thanks, because I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is. You know.
A lot of fun.
And the one thing that one lady said to tell you to be aware, I might kick you off the air in no time. Because she used to come on with me,
Yeah.
but I just, her energy and my energy just did not work.
What? So she wants you to tell me that,
Yeah, to be aware of me.
oh, that I can be like here 1 minute, gone the
Yeah,
next.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so be aware. So you've been told, okay? But I don't see that happening.
Well, I don't feel it anyway.
No. You and I have too much fun.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do.
And we're both readers. That makes a big difference, too.
Yeah.
If you have any questions or anything that we talked about, we talked about so many things.
Yeah, he's well versed.
Oh, he really is
John.
very intelligent.
Yeah, he is.
He's a lot of research person.
That's what I was thinking when he. Yeah,
You know.
he's fun. He's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. And but yeah, you were here when they were arguing, weren't you? When Mike and him got, that was fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But you know, I'm not happy in the way the political wheel turned out here in Manchester. That's a people's choice.
Right.
But we have to work and thrive to make Manchester a better place.
Well, you know, my idea, they can start with downtown with the homeless.
Right.
Who wants to come downtown when you park your car, they're trying to get in your car.
Yeah, you had that experience.
I
Didn't you?
most certainly did. So, and I'm not going to.
Were you frightened?
Well, yeah, I was more shocked. You know what I mean? It's because when it happens, I wasn't really. My body was literally visibly shaking. For me, it was. I was like shocked. I just couldn't believe it was happening. It was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, Mary and I and Scott were leaving, and there was this man out there. He had a white beard and all that kind of that, and he tried to get our attention. We just kept walking away from him, and he literally charged at us.
Wow.
I really thought he was going to hit us. Then another time with Father Paul, wait till you meet him. You're going to love him. He's great. And there was this gentleman that was laying on the sidewalk, and he was turning blue. And I kept, sir, you're going to be okay. This woman was going to put ice water on him. I go, no, you know. And apparently he had a seizure. Because I will say
good thing he wasn't in Boston. They would have rifled through his pockets.
Oh, I'm sure they were. There were a bunch of people there, so you know.
Yeah.
And so we called the ambulance, and I got to say they were very quick.
Oh, good.
And they gave me a dirty look at how dare I, called in because I didn't know.
Right.
So I said, sir, cause I kept saying, sir, are you okay? Sir, and he wasn't waking up. Oh, he's only sleeping. I go, no, there's something wrong. Yeah. But the ambulance coming, I guess.
Good.
So.
Yeah, they're not just sleeping if they're turning blue
No,
or purple.
yeah. And then when she was going to turn the water on them, that really shook me up a little bit.
Yeah, really.
Never, people will not come down to the downtown.
Well,
I don't know how these restaurants stay in business.
Me either.
Well,
But some of them, I told you that same night that my car got invaded.
Yeah.
The restaurant we went to packed. It was packed, and that was a Monday night.
Where'd you go?
Hooked, and right next, it's an Ignite. It's two restaurants, but it's one and the same, really. Packed. No, I don't think there was a table or a seat in the whole place, and the food was excellent.
What's the try?
Yeah, seafood.
Is that on Hanover Street?
Yeah, is it Hanover or the next one? Either one, but it's the next block. It's on the next corner from here. Yeah, it was excellent.
When that's like when they have the events going down at the Verizon. It used to be the Verizon. Now it's what? That's the new. It's under New Hampshire,
Yeah.
right? They pack the restaurants.
Right, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they got some boxing thing or something next week. My new employer.
Oh yeah, good. Well, maybe you can learn how to box. Are you a boxer?
Well, I used to when I was a kid. When I was in high school, I'd get in scrapes with other kids and stuff. So I never backed down from a fight.
Oh, me either.
Because then you would have got pummeled. They would have tried to pummel you even more.
Yeah.
So I never.
Welcome to North Community Corner.
Yeah, good evening, guys.
Hey, Mary, how you doing?
Good, you know?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you make out with that food drive?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah. I was kind of
Yeah.
disappointed, but I'm not.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not going to be going back because other people need it more than I do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike got a new job.
Oh, did he? What you got?
He's working down off in the bypass on 28,
Yeah.
going towards the end of Manchester to Hooks. There's a new factory in there, and he got a job in there.
Nice.
So he seems to like it. You know.
Hey, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So,
That's good.
what are you going down to Mass for Thanksgiving?
I'm not sure what's going to happen this year. I've been talking to him and everything, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If there's a snowstorm, then that's different.
Yeah.
If not, we'll see what happens.
Well, what we're gonna do, we're
Whatever's
gonna
going on, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna take everything and Tammy's gonna come and pick it up for her and my son, and then Scott and I,
Yeah.
we're gonna have it together.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's good. But so did you hear what we were talking about?
Yes, I did.
Do you think
That's
there's
the
alien?
time I remember that twice that guy come up in back of us
Yeah,
and he was going to attack us. That
Yeah.
guy with the white hair, and that
Yeah.
time with Bishop Paul.
yeah. Well, they were just saying, "Hey, I'm getting your name right for a change."
Wow, I think
I gotta
that's
go
2 weeks
back
in
to
a
Bob,
row. That's
yeah.
2 weeks in a row, Norm.
They were saying how one of those homeless people were trying to get into his car.
Just last week,
Oh, my
Mary.
goodness.
Just right across the street from here.
Wow.
Imagine.
Yeah.
It's like you got a young kid. I could say early 20s, long red hair.
I'm just glad they didn't have a gun or something.
I know,
You
man.
know.
What if he did? I know, right? I could be.
We gotta
the river
all
now.
join we gotta join together and bring more peace into this city. Teach each other how to do things. Without all that violence
Some
and hate.
people don't want to learn.
No.
A lot of people don't want to learn.
No,
You're right,
no.
Mary.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's why I was just saying to him, I don't understand how the restaurants are doing this well down here.
I know, but they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
thank God, the restaurants, a lot of people are going, and some people are just, takeouts.
Right,
Take
yeah.
it home or something, you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
Hey,
Yeah.
there's jobs out there to take, let me tell you.
Yeah.
There's plenty of jobs, and
There
I'm
is.
getting to the point where, I think I'm going to be doing something part-time myself to do something. I mean, it's ridiculous now, trying to get my medicine and everything else. It's just too much now.
Well, it will do you good, Mary. It'll get your mind off everything, It'll have you focusing on something else.
Yeah. I've been asked to use because I got a good-sized SUV now.
Yeah.
And I've been asked if I wanted to use it, pick somebody up from their house, take them, to the airport and back.
Yeah.
That way I can do it on my own.
yeah,
I
Right,
don't
yeah.
have to be there every day for something.
right. Yeah. Well, you work for Lyft, right?
Yeah, and Uber.
And you work for both of
Yeah,
them?
we'll do a quick cut of the cards and see if that's a yes or no for Mary.
All right. There you go.
Alrighty.
All right. Page of Cups, Mary. Go for it.
Alrighty.
It'll be, you'll get contentment out of it and satisfaction. Go for it.
Well,
There's the answer.
Yeah. I keep thinking I'm going to get every time I think I want to get a part-time job, I start getting phone calls for readings.
Well, keep thinking you want to get a part-time
Yeah, that's
job
what I
then.
do.
Because I'd rather get more calls for readings than drive for Lyft or Uber.
So how much is your medication now, Mary?
It's expensive.
You know, you can't.
You know,
that's what I have.
take insulin and the needles and everything else. It's very expensive.
Well, doesn't Part D cover it, Mary? Or whether you have a
They
threshold?
don't cover it all. No, they don't cover it all.
Oh, what do you got to go? Like, we'll say, like after 3,000, then they give you $50, something like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm what they call a donut hole. I'm in a donut hole.
Okay, I got you.
I got. Yeah, you had the. You and I had the same insurance. We have.
And I got it because of you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
raved about it. I
And
love it.
They paid all my bill up except for $40, but I had that surgery.
Wow, that's not
You know.
bad.
So I consider that one pretty decent.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in free medicine. You know, like they have in England and all that.
Yeah, but it's not
They
free.
say
And
it's not
even in
working.
Canada,
Yeah.
it's,
No.
you know, in Canada, my buddy up in Quebec City, you'd say it's free, first of all, and he's retired. You still, the taxes are high for it. In England, it's something like 27% of your income goes to pay for health care over there. So that's how free it is. But my friend up in Canada, right, and all that, and plus he says there's a tax, $500 a year for meds. He's not on any. But to make a long story short, he's got private insurance because other than even like an emergency room or a doctor's visit, he's got private insurance so he could see a doctor before 6 or 8 or 10 months.
Yeah.
So that, you know, that's what.
There's a lot of pro and cons.
Right. I mean, that's, you know, that people all down here, you know, when they talk about free medicine, oh, they can't wait. Free medicine. But what they don't realize is, you know, God forbid you got cancer and you got 6 months to live, and you want to know what treatment's available, but you can't see a doctor for 10 months.
Right.
Isn't that
Yeah,
wonderful?
yeah. Oh, I love it when they tell me I had a heart condition. I think I told you, and the doctor made an appointment 2 months away from having a heart. You know, I said because of my heart, and I went.
Yeah.
My heart's fine. You know, but I won't. The reason I won't take the shots is because of my immune system being from the cancer.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really feel. There's a woman that had a grand mal seizure, and the doctor refused to take care of her because she didn't have the shots.
They should
Yes, yes,
bounce that
yes,
doctor.
There's one, you know, there's a couple of places they call med stops,
Yep.
and it's Bedford, Manchester, Nashua,
Yeah.
Hooksett, they're all over the place now.
Yeah.
Do you know the time that I ended up in the hospital with pneumonia?
Yeah.
They refused to see me.
You're kidding.
Huh?
See,
I am not kidding. They refused me because either you have a credit card, you can pay for it right away,
Right.
Yeah.
or you pay for it right away, checking or something, or you have good insurance that pays it right up.
Right.
If you have insurance like me or anybody else that doesn't have the right insurance, that only pays 80%, you
Yeah.
pay the other 20%.
Yeah. Right then
They
and
won't
there.
accept you. I've called 10 different doctors on something, refused because I'm on Humana.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I have Aetna and I like it, but
I like
there's
Aetna,
a
too.
woman that
I've
went
been
to
on there
what-
almost a
was
year.
in
I have no
car
complaint.
accident. Yeah. Well, there was a woman whose daughter was in a car accident, and because she had insurance, but she didn't have her insurance card on her, she didn't
Yeah.
think, you know, and remember then she refused to take her.
Wow.
Until she came,
That's
her
right.
mother had a
That's
come.
right.
Yeah, her mother
I
had
think
to
that's
come.
horrible.
Yeah. Whatever happened, Mary, in the one thing about the old days in nursing and doctors, nobody was ever refused whether they had insurance. or
Not only that,
You're
they
right,
didn't even
but
come to
today,
your house.
You know, if you're over 65
Oh yeah, forget it.
and say you need a kidney or something like that, you need
You two keep
or
talking.
a liver
Yeah.
transplant,
Yeah.
you know you can't have one.
Right.
Cut
Yeah,
it out.
what, you
You
and
have to
David.
be under 65 to get it.
I didn't know that, Mary. Are you sure?
Mary, yeah.
That's
I'll
age.
do it.
Positive.
I'll do it.
That's
I
age
was told with 2
discrimination.
different doctors because I have one very bad kidney right now. She
Mary,
says,
you-
you
you-
need a kidney transplant. You can't have it because you're over 65.
You're kidding. Wow, what an
You
insult.
keep
not
talking.
kidding.
I'll be right back.
Wow.
That's just what that was told by 2 doctors.
That's see, now that should be grounds for a nice lawsuit, Mary. That's-
Yes, it should be. Yes.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
they're killing off the older people. That's
They
the
are.
idea of it.
It's just like, you
It's discrimination against the older people.
it is. It's Mary. It's the same thing I tell everybody all the time. You won't believe how many applications I have to fill out to get one job. I swear to God, I must have filled out 200 applications. And everybody's looking for help, right? And
Yeah.
when I send in my resume, Mary, I put stuff in there so they know so I'm old when if you read it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we need help right away. When can you start? You look like you'd be a good fit. I walk in there because I'm a senior. They turn as white as a ghost. They turn so white. Oh no, now what? An old F is
Yeah.
what they say, but it's incredible. It really
There's
is.
discrimination out there. It really
is.
is.
It is, and that's what I tell everybody. It's alive and well in America. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it's
it really
unbelievable.
is.
I know.
Because
Wow.
I was, like I said, I wouldn't put anything out like that because 2 doctors told me
Wow.
if I needed a transplant, I can't have one because she says you're over 65.
Wow. See that? I never heard that before, but I'm glad I'm sitting down. I'm absolutely stunned with that.
Yeah, I was told by
Wow.
two of my doctors that
Wow.
told me.
That's like China or something. Huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like China.
Yeah, they do it over there. If you're over 60, they don't want to do anything for you. If you're under 60, you can have anything you want. But if you're over here, if you're over 65, you
Wow.
cannot get it.
See, that's because right after you've contributed for like over 50 years, now you've done all this contributing, get out of here. We want nothing to do with you.
I consider
Yeah.
myself very fortunate when I went to Hitchcock and had that surgery done. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Mary. And if they don't have insurance today, they're
Wow.
not going to take it. Mary, your father was a hero in the military, right?
But I was told that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 'cause
But he was in the 172nd Artillery.
right. So we're going to give him a salute because tomorrow's a special day. Oh yeah, you want to tell people who you are?
Yeah, I'm cruising with Mary, and I'm on tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We're live on Channel 23. And if anybody has a serviceman woman or even the dog that's been in the service, you may call up and get their name and rank.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. See,
Fantastic.
yeah. John Hopwood, I guess, was in the military. He was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was, yeah.
Yeah. And even though John and I are good friends, and you and I are good friends, even if we don't agree politically, see, that's the thing. People should not judge each other by their political.
No.
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
So you
It's
think
all
I
the
should-
media's doing that. That's what the media's doing
yeah.
to everyone.
So what do you think? Think I got a good co-host now, or what, Mary?
What do you think,
You
Mary?
do, you really do.
It's good, right
I like
answer.
him.
The right answer, Mary.
Well, you think next week we got a real good reader coming in, a good friend of ours.
Yeah,
Was
Santana.
Yeah,
Liz
Santana.
Santana.
But yeah, I think this is probably one of the better co-hosts. Not just because you're here, but because even my son likes you,
Oh,
and my
that's
son
nice
is very
to
good,
hear.
But we have a lot of fun together.
We do.
That's what you should do.
Yeah,
Matt and I have fun.
That's the idea. Have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
When you're
exactly.
doing the show. Just
Yeah.
arguing and bittering and calling names, I can't see that.
No.
There's no need of it.
No.
Get out there and have fun on your show.
Oh my God!
right.
With it. Last week I come in and I laughed so hard. John Hopwood and Mike Gonzalez. They were literally
Whoa.
going at each other. I thought they were going to punch each other out there for a while.
That was.
You know,
And I
when
saw some of that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Unreal.
You know what, Mary? I got to say, in fact, Dave and I probably will go back. We went to Cecilio's for a lunch and dinner a couple of weeks
A
ago.
couple of weeks ago, yeah.
And I found a hair in my food. Well, you saw it first.
Yeah, I saw
And
it.
you know
yeah.
what, man? I went up there and they were so apologetic, Mary. I have to go back.
Yeah.
The food
Yeah,
was
well,
good.
sometimes it happens
Yeah.
when you're cooking.
Yeah.
But, the law states, and that's when you're a cook
Yeah.
or working with food, and if you have shoulder-length hair,
Yeah.
you have to wear a net.
And
if
he
you
did,
have
yeah.
a beard,
Yeah.
you have to wear a net.
But they
How
were.
many do?
They took my whole bill off.
Yeah, that was good.
And they were really. So you know what? I'm going back there again.
And I got
There you go.
I got Mary, I got a steak. What did I
Mushrooms.
get? Steak and cheese and mushroom sub. Delish. It was so good.
Great.
Yeah, and well, we got one that took it home. You know, Scott. Naturally, the one I had before I filmed it was excellent. Would I recommend them? Absolutely. And the price was reasonable.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you know, but you know, you have to go where you go. How are the kiddies doing today?
They're doing good. Virginia right now is sitting next to me.
And Crystal.
Crystal, she's in bed sleeping,
Oh.
and the princess, she's sleeping with Crystal.
You haven't seen my black cat yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Boy, he thinks he's the boss.
I love Black Cat.
Yeah. And I know. Remember when they used to say, "Oh, if you have a black cat, it's going to be demon, or if you have, or it's a sign of the devil." Or
To me, they're lucky cats.
oh yeah, they're beautiful. You know, that's when it's so funny. Scott will be sitting there watching TV, then you go out in the kitchen. Mr. Shadow, as we call him, will get it. I mean, he don't walk. He literally runs right out behind Scott.
Does he?
Literally
That's funny.
runs right behind him. It's so fun. But we've got to get him so that he's going to accept Mr. Big Boy.
Yeah.
You know, Big Boy's in the office.
Oh, that
all
big
the
boy. Oh, my gosh. People, if you saw a big boy, you would say he was a big boy. He's gorgeous.
He is named correct. These cats adopted us. We didn't adopt them.
Yeah.
You know.
And Big Boy, his name fits him.
Yeah. Well, I guess his real name was Prince, but I like Big Boy better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I'm trying to be on the computer typing, he thinks he has to lay across the keyboard.
I had a cat like that. Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. But I wouldn't know what to do without it, you know. And,
I know.
yeah. And Mr. Shadow caught a mouse the other day.
Who's Mr. Shadow?
My black cat. We call him
Mr. Shadow.
He caught a mouse. I said, well, that'll teach the mouse.
That's
I
right.
couldn't deal with it. I had to go. Scott could do that. I don't deal with stuff like that. You know. I know he was doing his
They'll
job.
eat them if you don't.
No, he
That's
just
Sort
a
of
killed
gift
them.
discourage
when they do
them.
that. That's
Yeah.
a gift for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're proud of what they do. That's like Mr.
yeah.
Shadow brought a bird. I mean, Big Boy brought a bird in one day and put it down. And we had that. Luckily, we were able to save the bird. You know?
Yeah.
And then I had a cat that one time brought in a snake. I go,
Oh, my God.
Wow.
you know. When the animals, they want us to reward, and you know what? They were rewarding. You know, like
Yeah.
your cats.
They're praising you when they bring stuff in because
Yeah.
they love you.
Yeah, and they want that special "how are you" and all that
Yeah.
stuff, you know. And our cats are like your Crystal, loves the chicken and the turkey.
That's cute.
Yeah. So Scott has to steam chicken every night or every other night for the cats to have. Does your cat like
That's
chicken?
what they're for. They're there to spoil them.
That's right. That's the only reason they're there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
They need
Well-
to be spoiled and loved.
Yeah, well, in this country, I think when you like in a lot of like Africa and some of these other foreign countries, they have them outside 24/7. They're not allowed in the house
Yeah.
because their job is to guard the house,
Right.
and they don't run out and buy dog food for them, and they don't.
Poor things.
Yeah, you know,
Poor things.
you know, and their job is to take care of the house, and the cats are to take care of the mice. And my father
Exactly.
used to tell me that too. When my father went home, I'd bring the dog in, you know. Yeah. But and that's it. You know, all they ask from us is just to be loved.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Feed me, let me sleep, and just let me love you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
That's what they want.
Mr. Shadow now lays on the couch with me, which is pretty cool.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. I have to make sure when I'm lying on the couch that I don't hit him and knock him off or whatever, you know. But animals, you know, people can learn a lot from the animals.
Yes.
Yes, they can.
This
Yes, they
summer,
can.
when I was looking at the birds and the flower, I mean the different wild animals, the birds and the cats or whatever, they're not killing each other. You know, they're not. You know,
Except the hawk
Yeah.
swooping
No,
in and
yeah,
getting the
yeah.
little birds.
They're
I hate
always gonna
seeing
have
that.
Yeah. But like I can remember where Big Boy would be laying on the lawn, and the birds would fly down, and they would actually settle on him. He didn't pay any attention to them.
That's funny.
And I hate the pet peeve. Oh, they fight like cat and dog.
Dogs, I know. That's right. Well, they used the cats and dogs. When I was a kid, there was no leash laws,
Yeah.
right? The dogs, what do? They'd see a cat,
Yeah.
go right after the
Yeah.
cat.
And then the cat would
'cause they
fight
were
back and
told
then
to
run
do it.
away, you know. But
I know.
I hate that it's, oh, they fight like cat and dog.
Dogs,
You know what?
cats
I
and- I know.
hate hearing that.
What about it's raining cats and dogs,
Yeah.
right?
You know.
Whatever that
Yeah.
means.
You know, you have to share your holiday dinners with them. You know, and that's what
Well,
we
for
do.
Of
sure.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Mine do.
Yeah.
Whatever I eat, they have with me.
Well, you know, that's it. You know, back in the days when I was growing up, they didn't have all the cat food and dog food, all that. They
No,
ate
they
what people
didn't.
ate. Yeah.
Right. When I was a kid, we had, we always had cats and or dogs.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember a cat having, my folks buying cat food for the cats.
No.
It ate what we ate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you read a lot of the ingredients on the cat food,
Oh, my
or on
God.
the dog
It's
food,
what we eat.
yeah, but a lot of it is so, you know, you wouldn't dare to feed them because of the oat or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we'll make rice and chicken and give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a cat, whatever he seen me eat, he would eat.
Hell yeah.
But this one, Fred, all he likes is, well, I'll buy cold cuts at Market Turkey. It's only turkey
Yeah.
for cold cuts. And then all he'll eat is steak and fish.
And that's
it.
your fault.
Right, yeah, I know. No veggies, nothing.
Yeah. And, well, if you would have met my dog, Chicky, who's been gone 2 years now, she wouldn't eat nothing but people food. She would
Oh,
never
yeah,
eat
good
dog
for
food.
her. Yeah, I don't blame her.
She never ate dog food.
Did you ever taste dog food? I wouldn't want to
wouldn't
eat it either.
No. You know, and Chicky loved Mary, huh, Mary?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
She was such a sweetheart. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I wore my jacket I wear for the winter, and I just take it.
Yeah.
She come along, and Big Boy was the same way.
Yeah.
And they look at my jacket like saying, "Put it on the floor. I need to lay on it."
Yeah, they would too. Yeah. One time, Mary was at my son's house for a cookout.
Yeah.
And Harlan, he's been gone 3 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Mary had a kebab steak. The dog literally took it right out of her hand. It went
Wow.
out. We had to pry the stick out of his mouth.
You had to
Wow.
run like heck to
Yeah.
get it from him because it was on the
Stick, yeah. We thought, you know, I didn't want him to hurt himself with the stick, but he
Wow,
was just,
yeah.
oh yeah,
Too
the animal would
funny.
run our house, just like
They-
Fred does you.
yeah.
And then he's quite happy to have you home.
He is.
What do you do when you go to Texas?
I'm going to Texas, yeah.
Well, what are you going to do with Mr. Fred?
Oh, one of my neighbors, he lives down on the first floor. He's going to come up and take care of him. And he says, I'll come up in the morning. I'll bring coffee with me and spend time with him. So he loves cats.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have one, so.
And he'll enjoy it. That Mr. Fred will enjoy him too.
Right, yeah, Fred, yeah. He already liked him because he came in. He's only met him a couple of times, but like when he came in today, because I was showing him, here's the food, here's the litter box, blah, blah, blah. Fred was right up there, so it's a good match.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Fred
you know,
approved.
and the one thing, Mary, I think you'll agree with as well is if a dog doesn't like somebody, then you can usually tell there's a reason why.
Cats, same thing.
Yes,
yeah.
you're right.
Yep, cats the
That's
same
them
thing.
trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
I had two people come in
They don't
trying
like
to
'em.
get a reading from me. They went, you know, one of them was really drinking. I go, no. And I mean, they were really overweight. And I'm not saying anything bad against overweight people. That's their choice. And I kept saying, no, you can go now. My little dog, Chicky, her little tail went up like this. And she started barking. Mary, you had to be there because I just started cracking up. They were running as fast as they could run. And she was tracking right after them.
That's funny.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. I'm not going to get, where I live now, I'm not going to get another dog. Technically, we weren't supposed to.
Well, you got two cats
Yeah.
now, so, you know.
My cats and dogs all got along good.
Yeah.
Didn't they, Scott? Yeah, they all.
But 2 cats is enough, though.
Oh, yeah, I don't want any more. And then, well, when I first got Chicky, I got her from one of the bosses here at the studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when I brought her home, she just looked like a little rat, actually.
Uh-huh.
And they all formed a circle around her. And I had to reach in there and get her out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. But so you know what? And animals are a blessing.
They are. They sure
You
are.
you talk with your cats all the time, don't you, Mary?
Oh, always, always.
And me.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I talk to him all the time. Like today, when I'm leaving to come here, I just tell him, I go, I'm going on the cable show today. And he knows how long I'm going to be, Mary. Everybody thinks I'm soft,
course,
but
yeah.
he knows.
Yeah.
He does. He knows I'll be back at like 6:37.
When Chicky, she makes, before Scott started coming to the studio, Chicky would make Scott go out and sit out by the driveway for me to come home.
Get out. Wow.
Oh yeah, they know.
They do know, yeah.
The last
so
day-
same thing. I tell my girls, I was like, girl, Mama has to go out, and when Mama comes back, she'll have something.
Right,
well,
yeah.
So she swears. I know she hears my car.
Yeah.
That-
Little bugger.
that-
And she'll wait there, and I open up the door, and she'll go, hey, meow! Like, man, all right, you
Right.
promised.
Well, that's me. When I go back, it's Fred. He knows the car because I got his perch right in front of the window. I'm parking the car. By the time I'm out of the car, he's in the window looking at me. But it's the same thing.
That's cute.
Yeah, and then I get up near the door. It's the same thing. Meow, meow, meow. And before I open the door, I always go. Before I open the door, I always go. Who's squawking? Who's in there squawking?
Well, the last time that I saw Chicky alive, she came out because I just got through doing my TV show. She came out and I patted her and told her how much I loved her. Then she went in the office and crossed over.
Yeah.
She was 15.
Well,
She had a good life.
she did a full life for a dog.
Oh yeah, she was overweight, but that was okay. Well, Mary, we're going to let
okay.
you go. Thank you for calling in.
Wow.
And
You're welcome.
you'll have a
Talk to you
good
guys
day.
later.
All righty.
All right, Mary.
Bye bye now.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye. Oh, that kills some time. But every animal. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm getting one through." You cannot replace an animal. They're all special.
They are. Well, if you think of it, because every living thing has an aura, right? It's
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
So even an animal, whether people realize it or not, you're absorbing their energy. That's the connection, and they're absorbing yours. So that's why, naturally you have, like Fred's going to be 10 at the beginning of the year. But still, so that's why, I always say cats go to the big litter box in the sky.
There you go.
Right? So when it goes to the big litter box, naturally I'm going to be sad. But why are you sad? Because all of a sudden you're not absorbing that energy. There's not that connection with that particular energy source. That's really what it is.
I'm a firm believer that, like, when your cats cross over your dog, they go back to their natural parent. Like with Chicky's mother, who gave birth. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm also a firm believer that the animals, the mothers, watch over the people to see how they're going to treat their babies. But that's me. They can call me off the wall or whatever, and that's okay. I've got big shoulders, but I'm a firm believer in that. I'm also a firm believer that the animal will let you know that they're okay.
Well, they do. And the other thing, too, is especially for cats, when you talked about the mother making sure that you're going to treat the animal.
Yeah.
I always tell everybody, when you get a cat, do you pick the cat? No, the cat picks you, really. The cat picks its own.
Well, when I got Chicky, they would call it a homeless for, around like that. And I picked her up. Let me tell you, I said, this is the one because it cut into my shirt. And I got him on Easter. I got her on Easter. What a beautiful present, And, I look at it this way, it was such a blessing. No one can take the place. As far, when people say, well, I got this cat to replace, well, your cat, you got Fred. You cannot replace them.
No, you can't.
They all have a special part of our lives.
Yeah, they do.
And you need to stop comparing them with the pet you had.
That is exactly right.
Because, and I think if Mary, probably, if she wants to call back, if Mary says, she'll agree. Because too many people, I had Dana, you know, and then I got Trisha, but Trina doesn't act like Dana because Dana did this or
Mhm.
and they're not going to act alike.
Yep.
It's
No.
like kids. We're not going, and I think if Mary calls that, she would probably agree. We're not going to treat them alike.
Right, but all that's true, and especially, let's face it, when it comes to kids, right? Like my brother and sister always used to say, I was your ma's favorite, but I really was. And at least I agreed. I knew it. I didn't make any bones about it. I used to go, yeah, I am.
You know, I'm kind of glad I'm kind of like an orphan, to be honest with you. I knew my dad when I didn't know him, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
But but I had a foster mother, and to this day I feel a lot of times guilt because I wonder if I didn't force myself on her. But my foster mother was like a mother. I had a fantastic
Good.
mother. I was very spoiled.
And fortunate.
Yeah. No,
Good
I
for-
consider myself blessed every day.
Good.
You know, and I always now my goal is to always make her proud because I'm sure she wasn't proud of my past. You know.
Well,
But she was always supporting whatever I did. You know, and I could do no wrong.
one of those.
Yep.
Ah,
It was always
okay.
somebody else's fault.
Aha.
When my sister and I went out she went one way and I went a different way. I come home and I had been drinking, and she blamed my sister for me drinking.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and we
That
weren't
was
even
good.
together. And she was doing everything.
It took the burden off of you,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, well, no. She found a case of beer I had and poured it all down the
Oh,
drain.
no.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Is somebody out there, Scott? Did I hear somebody?
Gary's co-host.
No.
over there.
Huh?
I've seen him.
Oh, okay. Well, come in if you want. But, you know, how can people, without using, we're going to use our second ability without the cards.
All right.
Okay. What do we need to do to improve our country?
Well, to improve our country, first of all, I'll tell you what people have to do. They have to get off their high horse and get back down in with the general population instead of thinking that they're special or they're better than other people or they got more going on than other people.
And I agree. Not, you know, there's not one person, I don't care if they're a multi-billionaire or a guy who lives on the street, we're not any better than each other.
I agree, you know, and even, well, I'm surprised because Gary, what's that? No,
John.
who was John. When he was on, he sort of was a little, what's the word, PC.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised because he did mention I'm surprised he called them homeless as opposed to unhoused.
Yeah.
You know, but
Usually he'll correct me, political correct. is
but
unhoused.
you know, when I walk down the street, even unhoused people that I see, that if I happen to catch their eye, I always, hi, how are you today? Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you know, because I've been there, you know, not homeless, but almost homeless. But I've been there, so I know. My son and I both have been there, so. But I
Yeah,
also
I
know.
never have, so I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't want to be actually.
But I
My
also-
brother's homeless now due to his own fault. Yeah,
Yeah, the one that was here?
yeah. He's living in his car since the beginning of the month.
Well, he made that choice.
Right, he's done it before, so obviously it doesn't
happy.
bother him
Yeah.
that much if he's back. Yeah, imagine in the car. Then he calls my sister, because she called me yesterday, because she couldn't believe it. She says, she had to call me up. She says, David, she says, I can't believe what he's doing. I go, what? She says, he calls me every day. And she says he goes on and on about talking about living in the car. And he blames his housemate, the guy who owned the house where he was living. He's lived there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. He says he's the reason that he's homeless. You know, will never admit because he was probably late with the rent time and time again, or for whatever reason. But, and then, you know, I'll always say, you know, well, so how you doing? Oh, I'm doing fantastic. And like she says, how can, How can living in your car be fantastic?
Some
I
people are
agree.
happy that way.
Well, obviously he is. It doesn't
He's
bother
also
him.
jealous of you.
Well, that I know. Yeah, I always
And he's jealous
get-
of your sister, too. You know, we can all
Yeah.
be the same. I don't have time, to be jealous of somebody
Right,
else.
me either.
I am, like, as readers, there are jealous readers. And you and I are
Well,
both
well,
good.
you're not kidding there,
Isn't
Ian.
that sad?
It is.
You know?
It
I
is.
am. I look at it this way. I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm not any
Right.
better than someone else. I'm not any worse than somebody else. And because there's always a reader that could be a lot better than I am, but I am
Well,
where I'm
I
supposed
don't
to
even,
be.
I don't really say better. I say different because we're
Different,
all
yeah.
different. You
Yeah,
know
we
what
all
I
have
mean?
our
Is
own ways of doing things. Wouldn't it be boring if we all read the same?
oh, I know really. Well, I know. Then why bother? You
Yeah.
just there'd be no like me. I wouldn't be doing them online because instead of having all these different readers online, what would be the point? You could just
Yeah.
have one reader would get it all and nobody else would want to call another
Right.
one anyway because they go, well, I'm just going to get the same type of reading.
Yeah.
Oh no. Pick out a card and pick out one card and tell us what.
Okay. What do
Tell
you
us
got?
about. This is going to be like about unity.
Pick it up.
All right. Let me pick
And I'll
out a
pick one of
card.
yours. Yeah. You wanna pick that up?
Okay. Here you are.
Home. Home. America is a home for many of us.
Mm-hmm.
The veterans made sure that this is our home. Live free or die in New Hampshire model. Home. You can live in a shack, like we just talked about Jim living in his car. That could be
yeah.
his home.
Well, it is.
Okay.
Not, right? Yeah.
I don't have the Taj Mahal, but I have a nice home. It's kept clean. I don't clean. I'll be honest with you. Okay, Scott does it all. I do
You
the
are
dishes.
fortunate. Yeah.
Yep. And home is where you can have the worst looking apartment in the world. But you got to have to learn. I always tell people when they don't like where they're living, find something positive about your home.
Exactly.
And it's like this country. Find something positive about our country.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, which is coming to an end if we don't fight back.
And how? I know it's
Okay.
scary.
We have a right to walk up and down the street, no curfew yet, and we have the right to religion. That's part of being at home.
Right, and they're trying to get away with that, not
Yeah.
do away with that.
Yeah. Home is where your heart is.
That's right.
I've lived in a shack with no running water, but it was home. At 5,
Right.
I didn't know the difference at my age. Okay, pick out card.
Well, I picked one out for you, so you pick
All
one
right.
out. Plus, home. It gives you. It's not wherever it is. It's a feeling of security and a connection. Okay,
This one right there. I don't want to break the whole pile.
which one? This one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what card he picked. Now, this is just like for. Let's see. Well, look at this. I like this one. 3 of Cups. And as you could see, it's time, instead of trying to tear each other down and divide us and pull the sex card and the race card and the political card. It's time to see us. Let's all cling the glasses together, just like they're doing in the card, and celebrate our commonalities and the things we like together. Who cares? We can all, when we go home and we're by ourselves, we can say, oh, but they're a Democrat, or oh, they're Republican, what do they know? But when you're there, celebrate togetherness and unity and harmony.
I love, and you're right. If we all work together for the peace and love of mankind, we can overcome the battle. You and
That's
I
true.
both agree. That's why I don't talk a lot when John's on, because he's downhearted and Biden fan and all that. Okay, and I truly don't believe that Biden's running the country.
He isn't. It's Bernie Sanders. Is the one he's...
Yeah, Bernie Sanders and Obama has a lot to do.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. And
Two idiots.
I don't know if I get, when I call Kamala Harris the deep throat vice president.
Well, isn't that how
Yeah, I
she
got kicked off.
really? But I mean, come
Yeah.
on. This is what gets me. They kick you off of these supposedly free speech platforms because
Yeah.
you speak the truth. It's
Yeah.
got it's not derogatory. It's not filthy because you're telling the truth about their
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
deity. Oh no, you can't say that because the figure that she is for us.
Yeah. Well, one thing that people have got to, and like I've said time and time again, we are at fault by constantly re-electing. People don't read who the better person is.
No, all they see is a D or an R on the ballot, but it's
Yeah. Don't do that, I will continue and I will always support Victoria Sullivan. Didn't agree with her political things that she was doing. I will not say anything on here that I didn't say to her.
Right,
you
yeah,
know.
that's me. I'm the
Because
same
I
way.
said-
I don't say anything behind some. If I don't have the nerve to say it to somebody's face, I don't say it when they're not
Yeah, no.
face to face.
And I don't agree with Gerard all the time, and that's okay. I'm not.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He has a lot of his own views. Bill Barry and I are a different political realm.
Uh-huh.
For the president, I owe him a dinner. I think I'm going to take him to that one we went to for the clams.
Oh, well, I was only there that once in
Yeah.
Goffstown.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Ollie's.
Ollie's, that's it.
Did
That
you
was
enjoy it?
good. I did.
Yeah. A little pricey, but that was okay.
Right, yeah.
But wherever you go today, you're going to pay.
Right. Take them, if you want good seafood, go right over here to Hooked. I'm telling you.
Okay, we'll have to go there.
The prices are reasonable. It was fantastic. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The food, scrumptious. The service, very good. The service was impeccable. I loved it. I'm definitely going back there. Maybe we could go there someday. But
The first time I went to Pizza on Elm,
Mhm.
it was fantastic. The second time was, okay. The food was good. The third time I went in, the food was good, but the waiters were terrible.
Really? Wow, how long ago was that?
About 2-3 months ago.
Oh, well,
It
the only-
can change.
right, exactly. And what you have to remember, because of the pandemic and all the people that were getting paid double to stay home and not to work, so, right?
What she did was
they were scrambling
the
for
bill
help.
came that, I think it was $25.50. She charged. She made it 26. She kept the
I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. That's happened to me before. No tip.
right.
I
and
cannot
and the
stand
thing
that.
is, we left her a $5 tip. Okay, and then when I added up the change, she gave me the wrong amount of change. She was mad.
Ah.
She said, "Well, what about my tip?" I said, I just gave you $5."
Wow.
So,
See,
and people like that make people not want to go back.
like me,
Yeah.
I would be. I would have talked to the manager or the owner. To me, and I'll tell you what else. It puts me off. It does. It wrecks their tip. Do you need change? I hate that. Do you need change? When I was working, when I was the bartender server at the
Yeah.
airport, people were paying cash. I never once said, "Do you need change?" I always said, "I'll be right back with your change." That's a pet peeve of mine. Do you need change?
Oh, I hate. Oh, do you want your the bill came to like $30 at one restaurant? Well, you need your change back. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just gave you a 50.
Yeah. And she comes and she said, "Well," she slammed the money down.
Wow.
And I said, "You just lost a $5."
Yeah, I
tip."
don't blame you.
And I said,
That's
"I'm not
me.
tipping anything."
But that's
You know.
me.
I don't know. Are they trained to say that in the restaurant? Is that what they're
I
told?
don't think
You want
so.
your
I
change?
know they weren't in the airport, but they do. I think they just, they go out to eat, so they see one server do it. So then when they become a server, or even if they are a server, then they think,
Well,
they
that's
do
what
it.
they
They just pick it up.
And I tell them, if I want to tip you, I will. No, I want
Wow,
I don't.
yeah.
Now I don't give it $1. Yeah, I want it back.
Yeah. Do you need change?
Yeah. Like that
Excuse
too.
me.
Yeah. And so, but anyways, folks, we're going to let you go, and we'll see you all next week when Lynn's Santana.
Right, and before you go, everybody,
Yeah, 1 second.
make sure you say you congratulate a vet tomorrow.
Right. And what's your website again?
My website, I don't have a
No,
website now. I didn't set it up yet, but the go-to readings guy, the readings guy, 603-404-9338. Give me a call. Great reading.
Yeah, mine is spiritualvisionary.net on my website. Yeah, my email is secondvisions@comcast.net. My phone number is 289-4789, and you can call Scott at 785.
Uh-oh.
1684.
What?
1684.
1684.
All
I
right.
think I did it wrong on that. Yeah. And we'll get back to you. And everybody have a great day. And remember, every day, like you and I, Dave, we are the winners.